What are the common pawn structures in the Petrovs defense? Have you ever wondered how pawn structures can shape the game in the Petrovs defense? This opening, starting with the moves 1e4, e5, to knight f3, and knight f6, is known for its solid and often symmetrical nature. Understanding these pawn formations is essential for players looking to build a repertoire around this opening. One of the key features of the Petrov defense is the symmetrical central pawn structure. After the initial moves, both white and black often keep their pawns on e4 and e5, or they exchange them early. This symmetry creates balanced positions with few immediate weaknesses. It can be challenging for either side to gain a clear advantage, which is why players must be strategic in their approach. In some variations, particularly when white plays d4 to challenge black's center, an isolated pawn on d4 may appear. This isolated queen's pawn gives white dynamic attacking chances due to increased space and piece activity. However, it also becomes a long-term target for black. Black aims to blockade and pressure this pawn while white tries to use the space advantage to mount an attack. Another common structure for black involves establishing a pawn chain with pawns on d5 and e6. This setup creates a strong central barrier that limits white's pawn advances and piece mobility. The pawn chain supports black's control of central squares and prepares for piece development, like placing a knight on f6 and a bishop on d7. This reinforces black's defense and counterattack potential. Due to the nature of the Petrov defense, many resulting pawn structures lead to closed or semi-closed positions. Pawns often lock the center, restricting piece movement. This situation leads to strategic maneuvering rather than immediate tactical skirmishes. Players need to focus on piece placement, pawn breaks, and timing to create imbalances. Different variations influence the pawn structure as well. In the main line, after 3 knight takes e5, d6, and for knight f3, players often see symmetrical pawn structures with balanced central tension. In the Steinitz variation, white attempts to gain space in the center, sometimes resulting in isolated or advanced pawns. The 3 knights game can transpose into quieter, more symmetrical structures resembling the 4 knights game. Players using the Petrov defense should be comfortable with flexible pawn structures that emphasize solidity and symmetry. Black's strategy often revolves around neutralizing white's central control and patiently seeking opportunities to counterattack or simplify into favorable endgames. White may try to create imbalances through pawn breaks like d4 to challenge black's setup and exploit any weaknesses that arise. Overall, the common pawn structures in the Petrov defense reflected its reputation as a reliable and balanced opening. Understanding the subtle positional nuances and pawn dynamics is key to success in this opening.